Number one is thinking that you are the project. Yes. So the first mistake that married women make is thinking that we are the project. Thinking that you are the project. That's the very first mistake. And I can't really blame you, to be honest. Some of these things, even if I speak in the third person, realize that I'm also talking about myself. I can't really blame you. Some of these things are mistakes I also made. So I understand what it's like to get married and think that, you know, everything is going to be about you, because I mean from the beginning, the man chased you, you felt like a princess, he did everything, you know, you made it difficult self sometimes, he'll call, you won't pick your call, you know, you're doing shakara, you know, you're literally just posing, and then you get home, God doesn't have time for you anymore, he doesn't call you anymore, everything just suddenly stops. And it can be very infuriating, because that's where a lot of women start to complain. All the things you did before we got married, you don't do them anymore. Listen to me. Listen, my darling. You are not the project. Men are project driven. Most men, okay? Most men are project driven. So the reason why he was so invested when he was chasing you and everything is because you were the project. So now he has moved on to other projects. He's moved on to making money. He's moved on to getting a promotion at work. He's moved on to having babies, providing for the babies, building his house. There are many other projects. You were just one of the projects. He has achieved that project. He has ticked that box off and he has moved on. I know it's hard to hear, but it's the truth. Now, there's a solution. There's something you can do to make sure that you still have a happy marriage. And that is, you need to quit nagging about, you don't call me anymore, you don't check up on me anymore, you don't tell me I'm beautiful, and join him in achieving his other projects. If you want to stay relevant in a man's life, you have to be in his face. Okay? So if you know that he has other projects, things he's dreaming about, he wants to build his house, you need to help. Okay, that's what you are here for. Bible says that Adam had work, then God sent the woman to be a helpmeet. He needed a helper that was suitable for him and adaptable to him, a helper that was comparable to him. So if you want to stop that, or rather solve that problem of feeling like, oh, my husband doesn't pay attention to me anymore, then get interested in the things he's interested in. So number two mistake that married women always make, like I said, remember, I'm on your side. I am totally on your side. So please don't tune off, because these days I hear a lot of women complain, everything is about women, everything is about women. The truth is, if you sit there and say everything is about women, what about men? Nothing's going to be done. The Bible says that your own obedience must be complete before you can avenge disobedience. So if you go to God and say, my husband is not doing this, God's going to say, what about you? You know, one of the things God taught me this a long time ago. So the second thing, like I said, is supporting the wrong decision. Married women do this a lot. Hey, he's my husband, what am I supposed to do? You are supposed to tell him the truth. That's what you are there for. You should be the voice of reason in your husband's life. Your husband wants to kill somebody, will you follow him? Your husband wants to steal, will you follow him? So let's stop supporting wrong decisions under the guise of submission. All of a sudden, when submission is a good enough excuse or something we can hide under, then we say, oh, I'm submitting. But if you say submit, you fight. Why must women submit? Why must women submit? Stop supporting wrong decisions. I always jokingly tell my friends, I say bad wife is bad. If a man has a bad wife, it is very bad. A woman that cannot tell him the truth. The man wants to go mad, you support all his decisions. He wants to do this, you say it's okay, you are the best. You're not telling him that this thing you do is bad. Stop disrespecting your boss. Stop stealing money from the company. Stop, you're encouraging him. When you are slaving away there, please, it's our turn to be blessed. No. If your husband is doing something wrong, be able to stand up for the truth. I hear a lot of my women say things like, me, I don't want trouble, me, I want peace, so I will not tell him. So you allow him self-destruct. You allow your husband make stupid mistakes because you don't want trouble. That's what you are there for. You are there to trouble his trouble. You are there to make sure that his life turns out good. I always tell women, listen, you determine the legacy your husband leaves for your children. If your husband is doing something wrong and you don't speak up, your sons will see it and say it's okay. Your daughters will see it and say it's okay. Your daughters will think that that's how marriage should be. But if you tell him and find a nice way to tell him, your husband comes up with a crazy decision. Let's not give our tithe. or a crazy decision. I want to plan and steal money from my office, and you say, hey, as far as you don't catch, are you all right? Are you all right? Your job is to support your husband when he's making the right decisions and to correct him when he's not, prayerfully and respectfully correct. The third mistake that married women make is the mistake of familiarity. Hey, and this one, everybody is guilty, even me. Even me. Let me tell you the truth now. Even me. And you know why? It's so easy to fall into that sin of familiarity or that mistake, because you are the one person that sees your husband at his lowest, when he's in his boxers, when he has not brushed his teeth, when he has not had a bath. So he can be a king outside, but when he comes, he's just a boy. You know, just a boy. So you've seen him at his weakest, when he's sick and is crying like a baby, or when you've seen him at every single point, as in, like Nigerians would say, that's not to see finish. You know, and that's exactly what happens. A lot of times, because you've been married to this man for a while, you've seen every side to him, then you forget that you should honor him as your king and as your husband. So you speak to him anyhow, he annoys you, shout at him, things you would probably not do before you got married. When you get married, you say, what? I've been managing it since, so I can't take it anymore. No. It's a huge mistake. You know why? Because respect is one of the major needs of every man. I tell women every time, you must learn to respect your husband the same way you would respect your pastor. A lot of women, who I'm talking Christian women now, you know, a lot of Christian women respect their pastors. No matter what the pastor says, they will say, yes, sir. They will kneel down, yes, sir. Oh, yes, sir. They will, you know, literally be bowing and, you know, literally almost worshiping the pastor. Meanwhile, when you get home, your husband says something, you shout at him disrespectfully that what? You are talking. But this is your own pastor at home. You know, so the same way you would honor your pastor, you should honor your husband the same way. Same way you honor your father, you honor your husband the same way. But my husband, so your husband may not replace you by marrying another wife, but he may replace you in his heart. So he's not talking to you about very important things. He's not talking to you about sensitive things. You now notice that he's talking more to his friends. He's talking to his brothers. He's talking to his siblings. He's talking to his extended other family members, but he's not talking to you. Check your heart. If you have been treating him with disrespect, a man will simply log out. If he's even a good man, he might not marry someone else. I know some evil men that will just move on. They will vashti you, banish you, and go and look for an Esther, one small fine girl that they can just replace you with. I'm trusting God that your husband is not that kind. But I'm talking about men who are even Christian and godly. They will just log out. They say anything they want to tell you, shout at them, talk to them anyhow. Men hate disrespect. And that is the mistake married women make. They disrespect their husbands constantly. No matter how annoying your husband is, no matter what you want to tell him, there must be a way you can tell him respectfully and prayerfully. Okay. So the next mistake that married women make. This one, we're all guilty. So I'm going to look at myself as I'm looking at you. Okay. The next one, number 4. Not taking care of ourselves. Let me speak in the verse. Not taking care of ourselves. Married women are the most guilty of this. Not taking care of yourself. Now, this thing is on 2 levels. First of all, not taking care of your looks. And the truth is that men are moved by what they see. You know, God gave us expo. When Samuel went to anoint David, when he got there, he saw the first one. I said, this one is tall, he looks the part. This must be the one I will anoint king. God said, it's not the one. He said, men look on the outward. He said, I look on the heart. Listen, God gave us expo. Men look on the outward. Though. Men are not God. God may look inside and say, oh, my daughter has such a kind heart, a gentle spirit. Men are into packaging. Men are into seeing what's on the outside before they look inside. They must first be attractive to them. Men are moved by what they see. They are not God. It's God who looks at the heart. A man looks at the outward appearance. A lot of women get married and relax. They say, oh, he has married me. Before he got married to you, putting your lashes, your makeup is always on fleek, everything on point. You're doing your hair every 2 weeks. Now, since he got married to you, you've been wearing hairnet, and that hair, you've been carrying it for 6 weeks. You've not washed it once. You are smelling of sweat, and he's just pretending like he's not smelling. You are smelling. If you need to smell your hair, say, honey, is my hair smelling? If you ask your husband, it's smelling. I'm telling you, he can't tell you smelling, but it's smelling. Wash your hair. Even if you're wearing a wig, please, the hair under the wig. We can't see the tracks anymore. The tracks for the cornrow. Everything has merged together. It's now no longer cornrows. It's now farmland, grassland. I don't even know what else to call it. That has merged. The hair you are not doing, you're not washing your hair. By 3 p.m. you have not brushed your teeth since morning. You're walking about with wrapper on your chest. Help him. I know your husband is born again. Oh, my husband is born again. My husband can never cheat on me. Thank you. But must he be under punishment? Thank you that he will not cheat on you. But can't you make it easy for him not to cheat on you? Can't you help the man? So especially in this